Hi guys, welcome to another episode of It Was Never Personal with me, Yame Wilfred, season 2. It was never personal. It has always been love, laughter, music, dance, colors, role playing, balance, awareness, authenticity, not taking the ego too seriously, that is not taking yourself too seriously, not even taking life too seriously, because it was never personal. It is all about realizing that this is a dream, honey, an illusion that we get to co create with the power higher than us. It was never personal, trust me. Tune in to get inspired, motivated, and mostly importantly, find ways to love yourself and do so with laughter and joy. You won't learn anything new from this. I'm not going to say anything which is new. It may sound new only because we have forgot that which we once knew, and I'm here to remind us of that. But like I always say, it was never personal. Unlike how I like to say it, it was never personal. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate everyone who took time to really come and watch yet another episode of It Was Never Personal with me, Yami Wilfred. My name is Yami Wilfred. Thank you. So, on today's episode, I'm going to give you a masterclass. I call it Willie's Wheelies. Should I go with wheelies or whatever? Okay, anyways, I'll see, you know. But I call it Yummy Walfred's masterclass. The title being Creating Your Own Magic, a journey to self-realization and personal transformation. Now that's a very I think it's a very I love how it starts with creating your own magic, but it's a very structured title. So I'll have to break it down before I even start. So creating your own magic. First of all, like I always say, we are magicians. We are powerful witches. We create any experience that we if you have excuse me, if you have experienced it, you have created it then. That is what the masters will tell you. But anyways, creating your own magic, being able to get out there, to wake up and live an experience that you want to live, be it rainy or whatever. But anyways, it's all about learning to dance whenever it's raining. If it's raining, learn to dance in the rain. Thank you. And then a journey to self-realization and personal transformation. Now talk about being someone who's like an alchemist, because at the end of the day we are alchemists. I love the book Alchemist. I think you should get it. I found it as at exclusive books, but I'm not here to advertise for exclusive books, but they are very great. I love how they all the books they have. Sometimes I wonder if that would. I always tell the teller, "Do you know how much? Do you know the amount of weight I put on these books? Because these books, I think they're very very powerful." But anyways, without further ado, welcome to my masterclass. So self help. I've been talking about these books that I get from exclusive books. They are self help books. They spiritual books. They are on about metaphysics. They are metaphysics books, and they are not novels. They are not novels. I don't know. I've never met anyone who actually went, oh no. I met one dude. One guy I met, and then he saw my Eckhart Tolle book, A New Earth. I think it's A New Earth, and he's the first person he was the first person who actually went, "Oh, so you read this?" And but nah. Other than that, nobody. I've never. People thought I was always carrying around novels, and I'm like, uh, uh, novels make me feel sleepy. I'm telling you, I tried doing them as a little boy. They never really got me anywhere. Maybe because I was not able to actually. get into. I mean, there are novels that are very good, but at school they painted this heavy. Oh, you must. It's like you must read a novel if you want to be the brilliant student. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna show you that I can be a star without reading a novel. And I never read novels. And yeah, but I'll start doing them because I feel like some of them, not like some of them, most of the movies that I've seen and whatever, they are like adaptations of novels. So I guess I'll have to do my bit into reading novels. So thank you so much for tuning in. Now, I'm going to give you a masterclass on how to create your own magic, creating joy. That is what I mean. How to know thyself, or the concept of know thyself, loving yourself, and the concept of it was never personal. Creating joy. So the first thing that came up to mind was define happiness. And I'm like, oh, happiness. Well, first of all, looking for happiness. People, I mean, everybody wants to feel happy at the end of the day. But then my thing is that I found out in my journey of in my journey as a seeker, I found out that happiness is, it's relative. It's relative, and it's more of like a superstition because one thing you think something makes you happy, and then the next thing it makes you kind of like sad or whatever. So to me, it's not really about finding out happiness and whatever. Yes, what I now have rephrased as happiness, or what I think we really want, but we want as happiness, it's joy. It's joy. I think I relate, I link happiness with pleasure, but joy is, it's much deeper than that. It's peaceful. It's peaceful. And I've found many moments where I am joyful without actually depending on anything. Now, that is how I said all that to say that for me happiness, I define it as it's actually, it's more fragile. It's more fragile because it's dependent upon a situation, a circumstance, objects or whatever, possessions. But really when you look at something like joy, I feel like joy is much more like something that we should be actually aiming for, and it's not something that you see, it's seeking what you already have. Actually, both of them, like if you are seeking happiness or seeking joy, it's something that you already have. Really get in within yourself, and then you will find that joy. So to me, joy is a peaceful state. It's where you are able to just realize that you already have it right now in this moment. Being in this moment, for me, that's joy. you know for me, that's joy. And how do you create it? How do you create joy? I mean, I try and, like I said, being in the moment, I try and be in the moment, and then somehow things just fall into place, literally things just fall into place. But I try and I'm an organized person, like really organized to the T, but not like to like where I have OCD or whatever, you know. But I try and keep my head free, free of my own fearful thoughts and free from other people's own perception. And I always try and go back to what I know the little Yummy Wilfred will actually like to do. So I like music, I like dancing. I don't know. I don't know how I don't dance too much, but I like dancing. Whenever I get to dance, I think, but anyways, I sing a lot. I listen to a lot of music, when I do the showers. And right now I'm so obsessed with Mariah Carey. Hey, I can't wait to hear M16. I'm very obsessed with Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. Oh my god. These two queens, I feel like they got it. I feel like that, I don't know, okay, they have it. They will forever have it for me because the way they have allowed me to just express my emotions through their songs is very beautiful. And it brings me joy. It even to this day. It brings me joy. So I do a lot of singing. I try and do whatever that I just actually want to do at the moment. And I try and be in the moment. I do things that I know I love. I love singing because as a little boy, in the neighborhood with my friends, who I love so much, we sang songs. We would perform we'll do our own My Star show, our own Idols show. We will do a gospel. We'll sing, I think, every weekend, almost every weekend, we will always sing gospel songs or the most famous songs from sang by Adele, Someone Like You. Oh my God, we will just sing, and there was no judgment about it. So I love it so much. It always music has always been my sanctuary. So I try and do whatever I want. I want to do, and then the other thing that I like doing, I love being because I'm an introvert. Like even in my family, like right now, I'm with my little brother, my mom, and her mother, and yeah. But I spend even right here. I always find myself actually having to go. Wilfred, you're around people. Get there, and just and participate. And be a participant. Thank you. And so I always try and go there, but I enjoy my alone time. You know, so I'll try and before I sleep, I try and watch the stars, especially on during these holidays. And I like sunbathing. I've always liked going out there in the nature, like I literally I'd rather they daydream than actually scroll through TikTok. That's me. That's me. So yeah, that's I think that those are some of the things that I like and I try and do them. But now, and again, the most powerful thing over here is actually staying positive. But is it actually easy to stay positive? No, it's not. And am I always in this positive state of mind? No, I'm not always this vivacious and whatever. Although I'll say this, like I've said before, I spend if the minimum time, if I had to say, okay, um this was okay, if I had to like gauge it, I'll say at least 80% of the time I'm positive, at least 80% of the time I'm joyful, I'm stress free, I don't have things like to worry about. They come and then I go, oh, it's never personal, oh, water over dog's back, oh, it has nothing to do with me, and stuff like that. So I try and stay positive, but I'm not always in this positive state. I have to reset this machine every day, I have to restart my day. How do I stay positive? That is what I'm trying to really get through. Number one, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I stretch. I have to exercise. I do it because I've always, and this idea of me having to stretch in the morning has always been there before the days. I remember when I was at high school, and I'll always stretch before I go to school in high school, and it's a nice way to do it because I did it for health reasons, for sure, but I also did it because I had that. I don't know. I've always had that mindset that you have to actually do something active, So I try and stretch, and then after I stretch and I or exercise or do yoga, and yoga, I think I like it because it's like whenever like okay, the poses they just get me in tuned with my frequency, and then after that I meditate. I meditate, and I do so that I can connect to the source and I can actually get to see the landscape. I can get to see what I have to work on. I get to see my mind, my thoughts, and actually go, oh, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. And then after that, I have to pray. I pray to deactivate my ego. I'm not religious, I don't go to church, but I do it to reset my ego and actually let it off the system, to let myself know that actually I'm not the one who's actually running this thing. There's a higher power above me. Some call it God, some call it whatever, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. But I believe there's a force out there. Life, there's life out there which is actually controlling everything. And I'm only a co creator with it. But I'm an extension of that power, but I am not that power. Thank you. So those things. And then after that, I have to affirm. I affirm using powerful positive affirmations and visualizations. And then I look at into my little kid. He's over there in the picture. I look at him. I also have him in my phone, but because I don't use my phone that much, I have to actually do use him in the look at him in the morning and go, I love you. I really, really love you. And how are you? How are you? You know? And I just listen to my emotions that evoke whenever I do those things. So those are my practices that I use to get uh to stay positive, And it's a day in, day out kind of situation thing. It's a day in, day out work. It's a journey. Thank you. So and then after that, I look I have to, because those are things that I do in the morning. Now what about when I'm during the day? Now during the day, because I have a schedule, it's like, okay, it's nice. It's nice. It's not really, like I don't create. My schedules allow me to actually stay within my frequency, because I'm doing what I want to do at what time I want to do it, and no fuss about it, no pressure. If I feel like, okay, I don't want to do that one, I don't do it, and then I just do whatever that I want to do at the time. So now, but it doesn't mean that sometimes things or situations or circumstances I cannot interact, especially when I'm at school. During school days, that's when I can have some situations or interactions which derail me away from my positive state of mind. Maybe I get to receive my test one papers, whatever. But okay, I'll be lying. My school has never been a heavy experience for me. Even when I got a 60%, I remember when I got my first lab report, the biological sciences lab report, year one, I got 24%. And I didn't feel at first. I was like, okay, especially because I don't know, the thing about me is that I know whenever, like, I look at a paper and then I go, ugh, okay, I know, it was the first time. It was so I can, having nurtured all this compassion, the self-compassion, the self love for myself allows me to stay positive and create that joy. And I just do that, and then I go around the day making sure that I do gravitate towards joy, and there is a lot, but there's a lot of pain, a lot of darkness that is revolving around me, because that negativity, the negativity is always in my peripheral vision, but I look at the darkness, I don't stare at it, because it will suck you up. That's a very good advice that I got from someone. And most of everything that I'm saying over here, I never came up with. I never came up with. It's something that I learned during my along my process as a seeker. Yes, and then I'm just handing it over to you, the next seeker, someone who's next to me, and um don't mind sharing it back to me whenever you see me, and go, don't look at the darkness. Look at the darkness, but don't stare at it, because it will suck you up. I remember how last year, my third year, first semester, I stared at. I was like this. I was so into it, because I could see how. Oh my god! I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there. I look at the darkness, but I don't stare at it. I don't watch the news. That's the thing. I don't read daily news. I don't do negative. I don't scroll through Twitter or whatever. I don't do that. I'm sorry. Thank you. Now, that was the first part. Let's go on to the second part. The second part is know thyself. This this is a very powerful concept. I think it goes back to the Greek days. Is the Greek day? Yeah, the Greek ancient days. Know thyself. It's very good. It's very powerful, and I feel like it means know who you are. Know what brings you alive, know what motivates you, know what inspires you, know yourself, and both. You have to honor both the human side and the being side. Being meaning that you're a spirit having a human side. The spirit, oh yes, you know it, you're a spirit. Now there isn't really much to really, there are no restrictions when it comes to the spirit. Experience life, whether dark or light, experience it. It will lead, all roads lead back home, you know what I mean? But then I think now here it much more, I want to focus more on the know thyself personally, like your personas, your everything. Know them. For example, I know one thing about me is that I don't like chaos. That's why, for sure, like I said, I have a schedule. I have a schedule. I always have a schedule when I am going to school, and I do it like, oh my God, 2 weeks before we even open schools. I have to have like a draft of it. Know your schedule. Oh, I have a schedule because I don't want chaos. I don't like chaos. It really throws me off. And then I also have a schedule when I go for my school holidays, like when I get to Zerua, I have my schedule there, and then I go to Donata to my mom, and then I have a schedule there. So even if I had to go to somewhere, I know that I'll have to have a schedule over there. Like, what am I doing? What do I do when I wake up in the morning? Oh, okay, what at this time? Okay, yeah, including family time, bathing, sleeping, whatever. Yeah. So I know that about myself, and then the other thing is that I know that I really value my energy, so I try and sleep as much as I can. I sleep very early. During the school, whenever I'm going to school, I sleep at 7, or yeah, 7 or half 7 or half 6. It depends, but from half 6 to half 7, I'm sleeping during those times, and then during the holidays, I sleep at half 8. And oh my God, my daddy is very crazy about it. He always wants me to sleep at around 10, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot. I don't have that energy. You would have to actually put a very good movie for me to really go past 10. It really works. I would have to, yeah, but all in all, I have to sleep early because I wake up early. That's the first thing, and then again, I value sleep. I wanna go for 10 hours sleeping on 8, but 8 is the minimum. 10 is the maximum. Yeah, and I enjoy it because I have to take care of this body. Remember, it's a machine, and right now it's really functioning well, and I wanna keep it functioning this properly. And then again, now the other thing that I know that I don't really like, I don't do negative things. It's heavy for me. It's heavy for me. It's really, really heavy. I remember the days when I used to actually um make jokes of other people. It used to really come back to me, and I will feel very, like, I'll do it, and then I go, oh my God, I think I just heard. So I don't like negativity. I don't even like getting negative news. And I think some of my friends have noticed that when they tell me something negative, I would actually go, I'll get frustrated and go, "What? Like, there was no need for you to say that." Or I'll snap back at them with something like, but that's none of my business." As if I care, like, why did you? You don't have to tell me that because it takes me out of the line. Like, I don't want to know it. I don't know. I don't want to know it. Yeah. And then now, knowing thyself, it has much more to do with. But for you, okay. Let me say, I think I'm just speaking too fast. Let me slow down. So for you to actually know yourself or know thyself, the first thing that you have to do is to unlearn all the things that you have learned from wounded people. Unlearn all the things that you have learned from wounded people. That statement, it's a very aha moment for me because I went, oh, thank you. Now it's about actually creating your own personal truths. You know, doing what works for you. Know thyself. So unlearning the things that you learn from wounded people, this includes your mom, your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunts, whoever, a stranger on the streets, kids from the kindergarten, someone who just step in and just say something. That's the thing. I know that whenever somebody says something negative about me, I know that they are in pain. Hurt people. That's a fact. Even if they try and put it somewhere, like it was never personal. Like I always say, it was never personal. It's just them projecting it onto you. But the thing is that because right now it seems like whatever they're saying is true, but only because we haven't unlearned the things we have learned from wounded people. Take time to actually go, why is this triggering me? Why am I feeling this way? Why, after so much success, so much prosperity, am I still fragile when someone says this and this about me? It means that you have to actually unlearn it and create your own personal truths. Now, it's not easy, but you just only have to be willing. You have to be willing, you know, and you need to know that it was never personal, but we'll get there. And then the other thing is self-talk. Self-talk. Self-talk has allowed me to really break things down. I really break it down. And my self-talk, positive self-talk, like I said, I'm not talking about where you take your past and you really go through your past, like uh creating an identity or proliferating the identity you have to your past or to the future. No, it actually has to happen right now with what is actually happening right now. For example, I don't know, I've done so many self talks. I don't think a day goes by. Okay, yeah, some day, but I don't. It's rare for a day to go by without me actually breaking it down. So when something happens and I get triggered, as we all get triggered, I actually have to talk to my little Yami Wilfred, to my little inner child, and go, kiddo, listen, this is what is happening. They said one, two, three, and you read it three, four, five. Now you know the three, four, five is actually what you are adding to the story. It's not anything that happened. It didn't happen. What happened is one, two, three. And look at it, is it really truth? Is it true? No, like, is it true? And then that most of the time it's no. Most of the time it's no. And if it's true, it's okay. Why is it true? Most of the time, okay, I didn't intend it. You did not. That was not the intention. So stick with that. Stick with that. Do not proliferate it. You see what I'm saying? I'm taking the thoughts, putting them over there, and then we analyze each thought and we break it down, literally breaking it down. And then I have to actually go, well, what feelings? Okay, along the line is, what feelings actually what feelings evoke or come through you because of this, like, why are you feeling this way? And then it goes back to the thought goes back to the belief goes back to when I was a little child. That is why I'm talking to Yami Wilfred, because somehow in this situation he felt unlovable or unloved or unworthy. And then I have to remind him, as the adult Yami Wilfred, to say, Yami, you are worthy. I love you. You are lovable and you are loving. Now take that home and sleep on it. You know, and, I think self talk, breaking it down, is really, really one way that I think is powerful and we can all start using. I mean, there are many things. Go out there, educate yourself, and get what you think works for you. And then the other thing is, you have to know your rhythm. You have to know your frequency. That is why I'm talking about, oh, I like sleeping early. I don't like negativity. I don't listen to the news. I don't want chaos, because I know that that is my frequency. When I don't have when I have positive things around me, when I have things going smooth around me, I know that, oh my God, I'm flourishing. I'm getting successful. I'm a success. It's easy for me to actually let my light shine through me, So know thyself, know your frequency. Know where is you, like that point in time, or that point in space where you are functioning at your level best, or functioning with ease, where things just go, oh, okay, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, like, oh my God, it makes sense. Everything is falling in line, where you feel aligned with life. That is your frequency. So find it for yourself. Now let's take a break, and I'll be back with It Was Never Personal, the masterclass with Gabby Walfred. Ow. Oh, should I pause you too? Okay, let me pause you the audio. It was never personal. Hi guys, hi guys. Hi, yeah, welcome back to It Was Never Personal with Yummy Wilfred. This is the Yummy Wilfred's Masterclass, creating your own magic, hmm and a journey to self-realization and personal transformation. Thank you so much for tuning in. So now, the next part or segment of this talk or masterclass is loving the self, loving yourself. Now, loving yourself. I guess I started loving myself when I was how old was I? I actually really started loving myself when I was 17. Mhm. When I was 17, that is when the real self-love came from. I remember how I delved in too deep into my culture as a gay person. I really wanted to know, like, where do we come from? And then to my realization, I realized, oh my God, we always have been here since Alain saying, we've always been around. Trans people have always been around. Gay people have always been around. It goes back to Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Bayard Rustin, it goes back, even before them, it goes back way, way back. So, really doing that, it allowed me to go, okay, so they lied. They lied about me, and I tried to actually just allow myself to be picking up things that I like. I love clothes. I love clothes. Whether it's as long as it's beautiful for my eyes, I like it. Whether it's for females or traditionally for females or traditionally for males, I take it. I like clothes. So I really do love myself, by the way. And the number one thing I've learned that actually self love is stop all criticism. If you actually want to love yourself, stop all the criticism. Criticism like yesterday, how I woke up in the morning and I went, oh my God, I'm tired. Because, I think I slept around 10. No, I think I slept around half nine. I slept around half nine when I was supposed to sleep at half eight. And then I went, oh my God, Wilfred, I'm tired. And it's in the morning, and I went, don't blame them because I was with my family by that time, but I wanted to go to sleep. But then I was like, oh my God, let me just spend a little time with them, trying to balance that, But then I went, okay, don't blame them. And then I also went, immediately I went, oh, don't blame yourself. It's not yourself. I was like, what? Because I think it was the first time ever I went, okay. Because the thing is that I know that I'm responsible for whatever that I am. I'm responsible for whatever that I experience. Like I'm the author of my own life. You know what I mean? So I have to take responsibility and accountability for sure, but it doesn't mean I have to bring myself down. And blaming yourself, critiquing yourself is one of the ways that we bring ourselves down and prove and try and really disapprove of ourselves. So it was so amazing when I went and don't blame yourself. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. I actually went laughing out loud. And then the second thing is stop scaring yourself. Stop scaring yourself. And you scare yourself with the thoughts that you have, the inner self dialogue. I mean, my dark passenger, the negativity, the inner saboteur, the dark thoughts are always there. I have them in my peripheral vision. They're always passing in my surface. But I let them go. It's like watching a river flow. I let the water flow. Oh, okay. I don't go, oh, I don't attach to them. I just let them go. I let them go. You know what I mean? And I try not really go and think of creating them. I just let them go. Stop scaring yourself. I can't tell you how much I've scared myself of really. I used to have this thing where I go, okay, Wilfred, let's say maybe I'm doing this episode. Back in the days, I would go, if you don't finish, I would have a thought go, if you don't finish this episode within 40 minutes, then you're not gonna get an A at school. You're not gonna get successful or something. Like it's, I mean, right now it's not so abundant of it, but it's still there. Sometimes I see it pass and then I go, oh, okay. Hi. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And then I just go back to just be myself and allowing myself to be that self love, you know? And then the other thing is watch your thoughts, watch your mouth. You remember? Yeah. Watch your thoughts, watch your mouth. Because your thoughts, honey, they will create your experience in this life. And your mouth actually goes back to you. Whatever that you say about yourself is really recorded by your little inner child, your subconscious mind. And whatever that you say about other people has nothing to do with those people. It has everything to do with you. You know, it's like when when you speak hateful words or whatever words to other people, negativity towards other people, you're actually saying it to yourself, honey. The calls are coming from inside the house. That's what I've learned. You know, so I'm very, very I'm particular, I'm very selective of what I say, of what I do. I mean, I've faced very, oh my god, heavy people, unconscious people, and I've faced people who are very mean to me. It took time before I went, okay, okay. Like I like that word, okay. 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 Especially in the moment when it's happening, okay. Okay. And then after that, we break it down. You know, it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. I mean, clearly, you know, it's easy for me to really go, phew, if it's somebody who I don't know. But if it's someone that I know, oh my God. If it's my sister, oh my God. If it's my mother, oh my. You know, it takes time when it's someone who's closer to my cycle. So I have to really break it down. I have to go, oh my God. What's your thought, Wilfred? What's your thought? And then even with my family members, my mother, whatever, I've realized that whatever that they say has to do with them, has to do with them. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with me. And then now, talk about how, you know, watching your thoughts is it's a powerful thing, because every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts. You know, we create diseases by the thoughts that we think. We create illnesses, we create whatever, we proliferate them by actually replaying the same thought, staying thinking. Because the thing is that you have a thought, a picture, and then your brains and your systems, they release chemicals that will create an environment for your cells. And imagine if you keep on creating anxiety, releasing those anxious and stress related hormones, which really shrink the life out of your DNA, out of your cells, you know. Oh my God, love yourself, please love yourself. And stay kind, stay kind. I value people who are kind. I value them. Stay kind to yourself first, and then you'll find that it's very easy to stay kind to other people. It's not really about staying kind to other people and not to yourself, because still that one, you cannot really love someone else if yeah, it's not genuine. It's not genuine if you love someone else without actually having loved yourself, because you can only give what you have, you know, and what you give is what you're gonna get back. So then you can try and love other people, love, but and if you don't have it, was never really that genuine. So what you receive back is not really that genuine too. It's never personal. It's just the laws of of the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, after loving yourself, we get down to this last segment, the concept of it was never personal. How did I come up with it? I mean, I knew that I wanted to do a podcast. You know, I knew that I wanted to share, and I was like, what can I say? I wanted something which wasn't I didn't want something which was too rigid, too spiritual, too whatever. You know, again, what's too, you know? But the thing is that people try and build a persona for things. You know, they try box things. So I didn't want to say things which which are traditionally known to be spiritual or motivational or inspiring. I wanted something which can be like a clock. Like, not clock that. It wasn't personal. You know, it was never personal, but I don't like your hair. It's not personal, but you know, I don't like the way you sit. It's not personal. You know, I like you, although it's not personal. I don't want to see you. So to me, it was like, how can I have fun with it? It was never personal. It can be used as shade, as a read, but it is true again at the same time. It is true at the same time. It was never personal. It was never personal. Now that's the T. Now clog that. It was never personal. It wasn't personal, you know. But it goes beyond that because I've learned not so much. I still have a lot to learn, by the way. I have a lot to learn. And the thing is that I always learn every day. I'm always reading a book. Week in, week out, I'm always reading a book. And I've started reading books before I got my before I got my, what do you call them? My physical books, the hard copies. I actually was reading soft copies, the PDFs and everything. I was just noting them down and reading and listening to podcasts and listening to talks and lectures from Eckhart Tolle, Marianne Williamson, RuPaul, and then now I know Louis Hay, Gary Zukov, Gabo Mate. There's also, who's this guy? Bruce Limpton, Dr. Shifali, talk about, there's a lot. The list goes on and on and on. And Oprah Winfrey. I've seen a lot of people who I love and I admire, and they're my heroes. I'm really into hero worshipping. I have idols, so it's a really nice thing for me. So all the information that I got from them, I then realized, oh my god, it was never personal, because I used to take it way too personal. What people said about me, what people thought of me, how people saw me. I used to say, okay, I have to present myself in such a way, in such a manner that, honey, it was never personal. It was never personal. Get out there and just be yourself and have fun. That's really the key over there. Get out there and be yourself and have fun. And just realize it was never personal. And create the life that you really want to experience. So now this is the thing. Um Life is a construct. Life is a construct. You know, Looking at this, you think, oh my god, this chair that I'm sitting on, it's solid right now, but really physicians, the quantum physicists will tell you that, oh, actually it's not really that deep. It's not personal, it's not solid, because it's only moving, it's energy moving at high speed, so much that I cannot penetrate my, because look at the air is actually moving way too slow, enough for me to really penetrate myself through it. Even my body, it's actually energy moving at high terrific speeds, but I, so much that I cannot even penetrate my hands through it. It's that. But all in all, x-ray eyes on the situation, x-ray eyes on the situation, this matter is made up of atoms. Atoms are made up of electrons, protons, and everything, with huge spaces that are very far away apart from it. So it's space over there. There's still space in it, although it looks spaceless, or like it's a box, or it's solid. You know what I mean? Now, but it's a construct. We just decided, okay, this is this. I'm a boy. That's a girl. Oh, okay. Okay, pink is for girls, blue is for boys. But back then, okay, pink was for boys. And okay, yeah, marriage this. Oh yes, school, you get it. It's the key to success. Okay, yeah. Oh, boys have to dress this way, girls have to dress this way. Oh, okay, makeup is for girls. Da, da, da. It's okay, it's a construct. They made it all up. It was never personal. I can do what I want to do. I can do what I want to do. And I'll let them do whatever they want to do. It was never personal. It's a construct. It is really a construct. You know what I mean? Yeah, it really goes beyond this. And we get over here. You think you're this body, you think you're this persona that you've created. It was never personal. It was never somebody say something hateful to you, and you say something hateful back to them. You're gonna have to really repay it back, because you've said something out. It has to come back to you. It's just the law. Just like there's law of gravity, there's law of cause and effect. Your thoughts create your. It's not personal. It's not personal. People who have hurt you, wounded people who have hurt you, it wasn't personal. It's not like they hate you. They don't. They do not. It's only what they know. It's only how they can actually. It's kind of like that saying, "Please help me," but I'm going to ask help from you by saying I hate you, by saying that you look ugly, by It's not personal, but we take it way too personal. You know, we've created an image for ourselves. You think, oh, because I'm gay, I have to only associate with gay people. Okay, yeah, this is how I have to do things. Oh yeah, this is how I walk. No, honey, that's not who you are. Because who you are is an extension of the power that created this entire universe. You're an extension of God. You are God. Now take that. You know what I mean? It was never personal. It really goes beyond whatever that I even say in this episodes, because it's huge. It's huge. I remember when I realized, I think I first the time that I realized that it was really, really never personal. You see that I say really, really like how much this really pervades me or whatever that I can even grasp was when I read the Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukov. I went, whoa, whoa, it was never it really was never personal. If I had that book and really like this, I think even if somebody did anything to me, I would, like, if I had the information, like if I had this, the thing is that I forget. I'm my mind it takes it go I have to always remind myself. That's why my morning routine is very important. That's why I have to pray, meditate, affirm. That's why I have to always keep on reading knowledge to remind myself, because if if I forget that, if I forget it was never personal, then I take it personal. And then it becomes a very hideous experience for me. And that's not what I want to create. Because I know, yeah, I don't want to create that. But there's this other acronym that I fell upon the other day by Dr. Ramani. He's actually talking about narcissist and stuff like that, but for me, I just use it for whatever that I'm talking about. It was never personal. He said deep, deep. I like it. Deep like DEE. I say dip like it's DIP. I know. So dip into the deep. Okay, it's deep. Capital DEEP. So it's don't. Excuse me. Because it was never personal. Number one is don't defend. Don't defend yourself. I know. I've talked to my friends about how I don't defend myself. Like someone gets in here and says something about me. I won't go. I want to correct them. I want. Like I don't have it in me. Like I used to try and do it, but it exhausted me. It exhausted me, and I ended up saying things that when I get home, I go, okay, I wish I could have said it this way. Oh my god, only if I had. But okay, like it really it took me off my it takes me off my frequency, so I don't defend myself. So I also say don't defend whatever they say. You can say things about, but this is the thing. If I know you, I approach you and I say, okay, but you know that what you said is not true. Why did you say it? And even the why, I don't want a paragraph. I just want you to try and explain where you're coming from. Like, what is your intention in it? Like, are you for real? Like, okay, hi, is you okay? Like, I didn't mean, okay, no, hi. Where did we lose each other? Like, that's the approach that I come. I don't defend myself. I don't go, oh no, you say, no. I just look at my sister. I think my sister knows that. Even I go, I just look at you. I just go, and if I try and explain it, oh my god, now I know that I've lost it. So don't defend, and then because it was never personal again, don't engage. Like I always say, don't allow your ego to co-opt in any situation which is negative. Don't, honey, don't, because it will suck you in. It will suck you in. Engaging is like staring at the darkness. It will suck you in. It will make you what it is. You just, at the end of the day, whether you are wrong or right, whether you are whether you're the victim or the perpetrator, with X-ray eyes, the victim and the perpetrator are one and the same thing. Thank you. Because the victim has created an identity for them as a victim, to feel superior again. The victim always wants to feel superior, just like the perpetrator feels superior. Both of them, they are the same. And actually, you can coin it like the victim feels inferior, although they actually feel superior being inferior, and then this perpetrator feels superior when in fact they're feeling inferior, but they wanna, because they feel inferior, they go, I wanna be inferior. So they are, I wanna be superior. So they feel inferior. Now they put this facade of I'm superior, I can hurt you. But then the victim, because they want to feel superior or because they feel inferior, they just put it like, oh, they want to feel superior by being inferior. It's kind of like the same thing. So don't engage. Don't engage. It was never personal. Now that's like the E. Now the other E in deep, it's actually for don't explain because it was never personal. Don't explain. Mm-mm. Oh no, honey. I always try and come from a place of love. Now I don't have to explain what I said. If I said something and you didn't like it, and you go around and say stuff and say I'm the horrific person, I don't explain myself. I know myself. It's a lose lose situation because when I get to you and then I realize, oh my God, they didn't even understand me. They didn't even listen to me. They didn't even get down to really hear what I said. They came here with the veil that they have of me, with whatever they didn't even listen to me. It was never personal. And now they turned it, and actually, because they feel some sense of way, because maybe I inspire them, or maybe because they actually want to be like me, or maybe because they see a part in me that they don't like in themselves, or maybe it's never personal. It's never personal. So I don't have to explain myself. If I try and explain myself, I'm coming from a place of love. Whatever I said, I never said it with any goes to oppress anybody. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. That's not it. It was never personal. So that I won't explain myself. I don't. And people never really, they don't listen. People don't listen, especially when they're during the heat of the moment. People don't listen. And I know that everybody actually, oh my God, I'm a fast speaker, and people are always, people know when they are wrong. People know when they have actually turned the story around. They know it. So don't explain. They know it. When they go to sleep at night, and actually they now, that thought comes, because the thought will come when they actually remember how they lied about someone. They come, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Don't explain, you know. And then the last thing, don't personalize. He said it. It was never personal. So deep, the P there is personalize. Don't personalize. It was never personal. Don't make it about you. He said what he said because that's what thinks about themselves. It was never personal. Get out there and have fun and just go and be this magician that you are, and be this creative creature that you are. Step into your God self. Enthusiasm. Thank you. I love it. A lot of people have told me that I'm so enthusiastic. And one day I read this other book. I don't remember the book, but and then what I learned from the book was that enthusiasm comes from enthu, which is being zium. It's like being God, like being God. So when you're enthusiastic, you're actually yourself, because you're God. You're an extension of God. So be enthusiastic. Be positive. Be enthusiastic with anything that you do. You know, and don't take it personal, because it was never personal. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a question, please, something. Anyways, bye. Oh, how can I just say bye without even saying?